This review was made possible by contributions from viewers like you.
Hey guys, I am about to go off to see the Emoji Movie. I'm not looking forward to it, but this is just kind of one of those movies where everyone's begging me to go see it and give my opinion on it. From looking at the trailers, it looks like it's going to be the story of the meh face that's featured so prominently as he tries to become something bigger and better than just a meh. So, I don't know, is it going to be like The Nightmare Before Christmas in that regard, where Jack Skellington tries to be more than just the Pumpkin King? Or Wreck-It Ralph or something, where he's trying to be more than just the bad guy? I don't know. But yeah, if that's the case, look how easily I can predict that storyline. What I see in a movie about emojis is, what if you had an eye roll face, who was just sick to death about how he and his other emojis are being just so not used to their full potential. I mean, we see people using emojis just to replace whole sentences sometimes. And we have this eye roll who's trying to just enhance a conversation with his presence, not replace an entire conversation. People are losing the art of talking to each other, and he recognizes this, and he wants this to change. So one day he decides, you know what? Screw this. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm going to stay right here, and I'm not going to work today. You other emojis can go off and go do your emoji thing, but I'm not going to be a part of this, because we're not being used properly. And then that inspires the other emojis to just kind of sit in. So we have a user here who's trying to use his emojis, but they're just not showing up for some reason. What the hell? So then he sends a text without emojis, and emojis are important. There is a difference between you suck and you suck. If he sends a you suck to one of his friends without an emoji, it's very possible that you suck is going to get misinterpreted as an actual you suck, as opposed to a playful and joking you suck. So he sends texts without emojis, and suddenly all of his relationships that he's texting are on the line. So he has to go and actually talk to these people to actually salvage their hurt feelings and maybe their entire friendships and relationships. And the other emojis see what happens thanks to this eye roll sitting in and not doing his part. And you're thinking, wow, this person's actually starting to learn how to talk again. This is pretty revolutionary right here, because every other time you see some kind of media having to do with a person using their cell phone, they're always burying their face right into it. And it's like it's sucking the life right out of them. People aren't people anymore. They're just slaves to their phones. And yeah, I use my phone all the time, but I know how to put it down. I know how to actually talk to you guys without it. I know how to talk to my friends and my family without it. But at the risk of sounding like an old man, these kids today, they're just with the person right next to them. This is wrong. And this eye roll face knows that it's wrong. So, the word of their little sit-in spreads to other cell phones all over the town, all over the state, all over the country. And all the other emojis decide, yeah, you know what? We need to step in. We need to stop this. We need to save people if they're going to use us properly. And that is how one little eye roll face saves the world. But sadly, we're probably not going to get that movie, are we? But I must remain positive. I have to think maybe there will be something salvageable about this movie. I mean, hey, after all, I'm the guy who enjoyed Catwoman with Halle Berry, so you never know. Maybe there'll be something for me to enjoy in this movie, which apparently no one else sees. I don't know. But, yeah, those are my initial feelings about this movie. Hopefully I'll be able to find something good about it, in spite of the horrible press that it's getting. So, I will see you in a little bit with my final thoughts. Okay, I had to admit it was pretty funny when the movie starts and we see the Sony Pictures logo, and an unseen hand just kind of puts up their cell phone over the screen and takes a picture of the logo and puts an emoji over the Sony logo's face. That was very amusing. And that was the funniest thing that this movie ever does. The movie opens on a high school full of freshmen who look like 10-year-olds for some reason, and just as predicted, there isn't a single one of them who don't have their eyes glued to their phones. Any other movie would see that and try to talk about it as some kind of a social commentary. But nope, this movie just shows that off, and we're supposed to accept that as the world around us, and yeah, that's it. No! When we're spending millions of dollars in advertising campaigns about how you should not be texting and driving, I think it's pretty safe to assume that your phone stuck in your face is a bad thing. It's bad when you're driving, it's bad when you're just walking, it's bad when you're talking to the person right next to you. This should not be a constant thing. How bad of a thing is it in the context of the movie? It's so bad that the main kid character has a crush on some girl in his class, and he can't decide what emoji he should use to respond to a text that she sent him. I'm sorry, but who cares what emoji you use? The point is, she has your number. Remember a long time ago when a boy just getting a girl's number used to be a big deal? I don't care about what emoji you use to talk to her. Get the number. That's what's important. It's so bad that even their teacher tries to apply some kind of cultural significance to emojis by comparing them to Egyptian hieroglyphs, but the kids just aren't paying attention. The movie wants to be culturally significant, but it can't even buy its own bullshit. But anyway, on to the real stars of the movie, the emojis. Yeah, those little face graphics on your phone, they're alive. And they sexually reproduce. Why do they sexually reproduce? Our main character is a meh, and he has meh parents. How does he have meh parents? Their entire existence revolves around... How did that ever get it up? Oh yeah, you like what I'm packing? Actually, it's just kind of meh. Yeah, I know, sorry. Sex ain't happening from that! And Patrick Stewart is in this movie too. He plays a piece of crap. And I had more fun watching Schloofy Poo.
Hi, I'm Schloofy Poo. I'm the poo that was given by the pillow from the Cookie Loves. Whee!
If you're gonna be a poo, why not be a happy poo? Oh my god, I never thought I would be talking about poo as a frickin' character. Apparently it's the job of the emojis to maintain the face that they're supposed to represent 24/7, which doesn't make any kind of sense. They get scanned whenever they get selected, at which point they wear their pre-selected face. But they don't need to actually wear those faces whenever they're not being scanned, and they always get plenty of warning when they do get scanned. So then he shot her, which is just weird, but... Oh, hang on. So anyway, back to my story. Why do they need to wear their work faces during their off time? And for some reason, meh can't hang on to a single face for more than 2 seconds, resulting in a garbled mess of a face. He's just supposed to do this while he's being scanned. But for some reason he goes... Doesn't work. Yeah, he can't hold still for 2 seconds. This is a great protagonist for the youth of today. It's also explained that there is nothing like getting scanned for the first time. Yeah, V-card jokes in a kids movie. Classy.
Feels so good inside.
So yeah, meh messes up his first time being scanned, and they just keep on going with the scanning instead of just, cutting the power to crash the app. I mean, delayed texts do still happen, don't they? Why couldn't the movie just try to blame it on that? And then Mez's livelihood is threatened by Smiler, the first emoji. You can tell that she's the villain because our main female protagonist is kind of a tomboy DJ type, and anyone who's classically attractive is pure evil. Hi, I'm blonde and pretty, that means I'm the bad guy. This movie is so progressive. She sends some antivirus bots to go and reprogram Meh,